uMkhonto weSizwe's parliamentary leader, Dr John Hlophe, says the African National Congress has gone astray. He says the ANC is no longer the party that fights for landless people and that they, as a party, will pursue the land issue. Hlophe says the MK party is now the official opposition since the DA is now part of the Government of National Unity. He has also told the media that the MK party maintains its position that the elections were rigged. Well, for more on this, we cross to our parliamentary studios where SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip is standing by to have a conversation with Dr John Hlophe. Over to you, Bulelani.
Well, thank you so much and a warm welcome here at our SABC Parliamentary Studios here in Parliament. Of course, we are here now speaking to Dr John Hlophe, who's just been sworn in as one of the 58 members of the uMkhonto weSizwe party. Of course, about a week ago, they did not come to the first sitting, but today they have been officially sworn in. Dr. Hlophe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the invitation and for the opportunity.
Firstly, when did you make this decision to join active politics?
I joined the decision when it became clear to me that I had lost my job as a judge because of politics. The decision to impeach me was a political decision. I said it before I was impeached, and I maintain that. There was no law that was ever used there. It was politics, and I do believe that the fact that I was perceived as being closely associated with President Zuma is another reason for the decision that was taken. And I think if you look around in the country, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that a lot of people who were closely aligned to President Zuma have been persecuted in this country. You don't have to be a genius to see that. There is a clear trend that if you are regarded as a Zuma fan, you get persecuted in this country.
Do you admire former President Jacob Zuma?
I admire him. He is a genius. The man has no formal education at all. You only have to sit with him and engage him. You will realize the depth of knowledge. The man joined the ANC in 1959. That's 65 years back. I know because that's the year when I was born. So he joined the ANC when I was born.
In your troubled times, the EFF has been one of the parties that has been flirting with you politically, but now you have decided to join uMkhonto weSizwe. What brings you to this uMkhonto weSizwe party? What makes you believe that this is a party that can take the country forward?
All right, I'm going to explain that as follows. We are not far apart from each other. When I say we, the MK party and the EFF, we're not far apart. Both parties are Africanists, right? We are Pan-Africanists in the true sense of the word. Now, if you ask me, why did the EFF, I was very, very close to the EFF. To be frank, I was almost tempted to join the EFF. You will recall that when I was dismissed summarily from the office, there's only one politician in the world who came to visit me at my home in Paarl, and that was Comrade Julius Malema. He extended his friendship, and I could see sincerity in him, right? I was almost tempted to join the EFF, but I decided to join the MK party, not for a leadership position, but I felt there were other issues in the MK party that were closer to me. For example, the MK party clearly has respect for the kingdom and the monarch in KZN. And I come from that province. I believe in that province. I believe in the monarch, and I believe in the role that the Zulu kingdom played. So there are differences here and there between us and the EFF, right? But then I chose the MK for the reasons that I have given. Well, as it turns out to be, it wasn't a bad choice at all.
Are you angry for the impeachment process?
I would be lying if I say I celebrated it, because I had done absolutely nothing wrong.
We'll come to that in a moment. Sure. Are you angry as a person?
Yes, because of how I was treated by the ANC government. This coalition that you see today started when Mkhwebane was impeached from the office. The ANC needed 2/3 majority, and they went to the Democratic Alliance to get it. So this government of national unity that we are seeing, it started then. Advocate Mkhwebane was the first victim. I was the second victim because the ANC used the Democratic Alliance, right, and other parties which basically got rid of me. And then after me, it was Judge Ngola Mutata, right? There again, there is consistency, government of national unity. So this is not something new.
Dr. Hlophe, I'm sure you have a rich history of the legal process.
Yes.
And processes in all three cases, including Advocate Mkhwebane, including the former judge, impeached judge, Ngola Mutata, and yourself. Processes were followed.
Yes.
And for a process having followed, they arrived at a particular conclusion.
That's right.
Are you now trying to rewrite those processes when you were even given an opportunity to actually reflect on your position in terms of those allegations that you faced at the time?
Right. Well, in my case specifically, what had happened was this. We challenged the processes and how the Judicial Service Commission operated. We challenged even the composition of the Judicial Service Commission. We even brought an appeal to challenge the decision by President Cyril Ramaphosa to suspend me. That matter is still pending in Gauteng. We're not even allocated a date for that appeal. In one matter, because they withdrew funding. As a result of withdrawing funding, I could not prosecute the appeal. This is why one of the grounds that we use, we're saying the impeachment process by Parliament was premature because everything was pending before the courts, including the Constitutional Court.
But you've been to various courts.
Yes.
And one way or the other, you won cases, but at a different level, the authorities won that. Do you not feel that it's time to let it go?
Certainly, far from it. It raises fundamental issues of constitutional law. When I joined the judiciary 29 years ago, that's when I was appointed as a judge, I believed that judges were permanent. But a lot of people now, after witnessing what happened to me, you wake up, you're a judge. When you go to bed, you are no longer a judge. And I think the nation must know this, when I was dismissed, I was just kicked out of office like a dog.
How so?
Well, I will explain to you. For instance, the acting deputy judge president moved into my office. I still had my furniture in the office and my books and everything else. She walked into my office without even referring to me, right? I was still the rightful user of that office. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world.
Was it before the impeachment of the National Assembly?
It was before the impeachment when I was still on suspension, right? It's unheard of, and she got away with that, right?
So now you are in Parliament.
Yes, I'm in Parliament.
You got a pending appeal on the impeachment process.
That's right.
If you had to win it, what then happens?
Well, the appeal, remember, we're appealing. There are issues, fundamental issues of constitutional law that are raised. Can you, for example, just fire a judge on the strength of a comment that the judge made extrajudiciary? All over the country, when you look at decided cases, it doesn't happen. It's even worse in the case of Justice Ngola Mutata, who was fired. It was called gross misconduct. The man, with respect, was drunk. He was not even on duty. It's not as if he got drunk and put on his robes and went to court. That's not what happened. Right? So there are fundamental questions that are raised. And of course, in my case, I'm in Parliament now. I still hope that I would win the case because there are benefits. Remember, I wasn't paid anything by the government. Even my salary, I was just fired and treated like a dog. I mean, I was fired on the 6th. I received the letter of impeachment. It was dated the 6th of March 2024, and the salary was stopped. I was not even paid for that week, right? I wasn't paid for my leave, which has accrued to me, and I've been on the bench for 29 years. When you look at the Judges Act, I am entitled to be paid.
So if you had to win your appeal,
Yes.
would that make you a person who would have to resign as a member of parliament?
If I win my appeal, there are many aspects in the appeal. It's about benefits, number one. The benefits are quite important to me because it's about money that I've already accumulated over the years. It's about annual leave, which has to be paid. Well, if you ask me whether I would prefer to be in parliament or on the judiciary, the answer is obvious. I would prefer to be in parliament.
All right, let's come to your new role now as the chief whip and the leader of the caucus of the uMkhonto weSizwe party. What's your first point of call?
Sorry, let me correct that. There is a chief whip, Mr. Ngubane. He is the chief whip. I am the leader of the party in parliament. Remember, President Zuma is still alive, who founded this party. He is the president of the party, but unfortunately he can't be in parliament. You are aware of that because of the that's what the courts have decided. He's still challenging that, right? So I am the leader of the party in parliament, and Mr. Ngubane, standing over there, is the chief whip.
What's your first point of call as the leader?
Well, as the leader of party, okay. Number one, what I consider to be important, it is to work very closely with my colleagues, especially the chief whip, Secretary General, and the spokesperson for the party. That's number one. Once you have solid leadership and we take decisions collectively, and we don't undermine each other and we work together. So my first challenge is to build a team, trust, so that we understand each other very well, so that there is no misunderstanding between us. But most importantly, President Zuma is still the president of the party. I don't want people to get between us and say Zuma said this in a rally and Hlophe said that. For that reason, I said to President Zuma a couple of days ago when I visited him at his home in Nkandla, and I'm not hiding that. I go to Nkandla whenever I want to. I said to him, it is very important for us, this is myself now and President Zuma, to be seen together in public rallies so that there is no divided leadership, MK in parliament and MK outside parliament. So you are going to see me wearing traditional outfit with a spear, nomqhele, and everything else that Zuma wears, because I'm an African as well.
The question will arise, Dr. Hlophe, that as the leader of caucus, there are structures that need to be set up by Parliament.
Yes.
Would you accept a nomination to serve on the Judicial Service Commission?
I would take the matter back to the party. If I'm nominated, right, I don't know how Parliament works. If I'm nominated,
if the party says that go and serve there, would you accept?
If my party says that, yes, I would. If my party has confidence in me and my party deploys me, I would see no reason for refusing that. I would. The answer is yes.
Would you not see any conflict?
There is no conflict at all. I'm not a judge. I don't even want to be called a judge, but people still call me a judge. I don't call myself a judge. I call myself Dr. Hlophe because I have a doctorate in law. Nobody will take that away from me. Even Cyril Ramaphosa will never take that away from me. He took away the title of a judge, but that I'm Dr. Hlophe, he will never take it away from me.
All right. uMkhonto weSizwe party, are you going to participate or not in this government of national unity?
The government of national unity to us, first of all, there are parties that are participating in the government of national unity, which have made it clear that they don't want to work with the MK party. That is regrettable, but the feeling is mutual. We also don't want to work with those parties which do not represent. We only want to work with progressive forces in this country. I have in mind the EFF, I have in mind the ATM, and other progressive parties. Parties with a history of standing for poor people. And the ANC, with respect, is no longer a party for poor people.
But MK,
yes,
does it want to join the GNU or not?
No, to the best of my knowledge, we don't want to join the GNU because also we are not wanted. So why should we want to go to where we are not wanted? In our view, the government of national unity We all know what had happened. The ANC lost the election. Quite rightly, we believe it lost the election by a huge margin than it actually presented itself at the end of the day. And this government of national unity, in our view, is not going to work. It's going to implode, like all coalition governments. We've seen that everywhere in the world. It is a government of national convenience, in our respectful view. It's not unity, it's just mutual convenience. You do this, I will do that. You cover my back, I will cover your back. You do this, there's trade-off and so on. You do this, I will do that. It's going to implode.
Lastly, what can we expect from uMkhonto weSizwe party caucus? Should we expect the dynamics similar to that of the EFF or not?
Our position is clear. I said it earlier on, and I said it in the morning. I believe that we must work in a very constructive way in Parliament. Of course, we are new in Parliament. Some of the colleagues, I will learn a lot from them. But we would like to engage in a very constructive, courteous, and respectful manner. We consider ourselves to be the official opposition, and I think the official opposition is given 5 minutes or so. That's the time we want to utilize optimally. And for that reason, rest assured, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of each and everyone here. We're not going to engage in petty politics. We know the issues that are critical. It's the issue of land first. It's the issue of transforming important sectors of the economy, such as mining, agriculture, and so on. So the issues that we want to bring to the fore, that must be debated thoroughly, and that we must find a solution. So there is clearly no time for petty politics in our view.
So you'd support the urgent motion that was tabled by the EFF at the first sitting around the issue of the president and the Parliamentary?
We have not said as the party, I don't want to speak out of 10, I'm going to be guided by the party. If the party resolves that let us support it, we will not hesitate. Should the party say, no, let us not do it. But I can say, yeah, President Ramaphosa is getting away with murder.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. John Hlophe. Very interesting views from there, and coming to you live from here in our SABC Parliamentary studios. For now, we'll cross back to you in Johannesburg.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Bulelani Phillip, in conversation with Dr. John Hlophe, the leader in Parliament of the MK Party.